Hello, everyone. It's the Sky Priestess. Sorry for the delay in getting on. I had all kinds of issues with my tripod and it didn't want to stay up and all kinds of things. Oh my God. But anyway, I am here. We are here now. Let me just check and see if this is doing its job. I'm looking on my computer. My cat's meowing in response, which is good. Hang on. Let me just see if it's loading what it needs to be loading. Are we live or is my phone just tricking me? Uh, okay. All right. It says 6 watching. Fantastic. Yes, we have people. We have people. Hello, people. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. So I have been planning and thinking when to do this particular Hello Neighbor because I know a lot of you follow me from the United States. And of course, you've just finished your election and you got the results. And lots of you are like in party mood. And I've just been like doing this since, the election was announced. And I'm just like totally happy. So I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about, the kinds of lessons that are coming up from that, kind of also look at how that ties into other astrological alignments coming in soon, and why it's not just about America, it's about what we are doing as a collective. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I had a bit of just trouble with my tripod. My tripod got too excited, or maybe I did, but I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting to do this post. I am just so excited. Well done. Well bloody done. Um, I know I should be wearing blue, but it's okay. So, okay, so key recap, right? Now, yes, I'm not going to make this a focus on any one party or any one individual or any one candidate. The biggest take home message that anyone with even an iota of sense is understanding is that this election was won through grassroots efforts, Black, Latinx voters, progressive voters, young people, people with all kinds of new perspectives on politics and new needs coming together and making this happen. I was listening to someone on Instagram speak on from the Democracy Now channel, and she had this really, really good way of putting it. She was talking about just how the shift happened in Georgia, and she just said, "Well, we've been working on expanding the electorate, and there's literally 5 women whose name and I've been sharing all of this stuff on my Instagram, and to see how these 5 women literally got something like, was it 800,000 people registered to vote. So when you are expanding the electorate, you are therefore actually creating a more representative demos. And I tend to geek out a little bit on this because, as you know, my background started in academic political science. And the reason why I went into it was because social justice, was because I felt that there was a deep wrong in the world. And the thing that really caught my attention in the literature was, of course, the evolution of democracy as an institution. So in my undergraduate years, I was developing models of understanding the difference and the interface between procedural and substantial democracy. And there's all kinds of cool stuff that comes out. I'm seriously geeking out right now. But that's the thing. All of these theories describing what has happened have been around for such a long time. So, nothing, the wheel has not been reinvented. What has happened is that people have come out to do things. People have come out to do things. People have really begun to take this very seriously and realize that being apathetic and uninterested in politics is literally just creating a vacuum where lots of other more undesirable things can come and sit. And, the thing that surprised everyone is just how close it was. People were thinking that this was going to be a clear and easy majority, a comfortable win, but, a lot of damage has happened in the past few years. And in some sense, what has happened is also an opportunity for people to externalize deep prejudices and deep hatreds that they did not feel comfortable expressing before. But thankfully, more people have come out to say, well, actually, no, that's not acceptable, and we stand for something different. So, I've been happy watching, the scenes of celebration in the United States. and all over the world, really, we're rooting for you. We are rooting for you, and we hope that the world can find a little bit more sanity. Now, it's someone's commenting, the world's not going to be perfect after this election. And like I said, I don't want to make this on any one candidate, because frankly, if I could vote in the United States, my vote would have gone to someone else. But between the options that were there and the other option, I think everyone made the right choice. It is honestly up to them now to see if they can live up to the promise and the hope that they have inspired amongst people. I also spent a little bit of time looking into VP Kamala Harris, and to my surprise, she's actually partially Tamil. I was like, oh, okay, how does that tie in? So I was looking at a little bit of a family history to understand how that actually happened, and found that her grandfather was actually a very progressive being, a civil servant in the South India. Well, he was born in South India, but they lived in Africa. And he actually did something at the time which was quite rare for a Tamil Brahmin to do. A Brahmin is a supposedly upper caste being. They have very strict rules surrounding movement, behavior, marriage. And what he did was he actually sold part of his retirement, let go of part of his retirement funds to finance his daughter Shamala to go to America, to this place that no one had ever heard of. And no one in their family had actually, set foot in another country. And that was a big risk. So this woman goes there, she's studying there, she meets this dude, they get married, they have kids, she divorces him, which again, for that culture, for that particular subset of community is very, very radical. And she raises her kids. It's a very unusual story, even from the South Indian context. It'd be interesting to see whether or not the hopes of representation that people all over the world are looking at. They're looking at VP-elect Kamala Harris, and we are hoping to see if her views are actually going to align with those hopes. Now, a lot of people are celebrating. I'm in a much happier mood. I think everyone's just breathing a sigh of relief, but really, the work needs to happen. There's going to be a really, really important Senate race in Georgia in January that may, completely alter or rather definitively alter the composition of the Senate. So that work of mobilization, that work of activism, that work of organizing, that needs to keep happening. And let's not forget, certain people who have to evict certain buildings are not out yet. And those certain people have certain followers that have guns. So things are actually likely to be, in some sense, downright dangerous in certain parts of the United States after this. So celebrate, yes. But remember, there's real work that needs to happen. Democracy does not work if you just leave it to a bunch of people and then say, you're going to represent us, do it, we're not going to check on you. You have to constantly engage it. You have to constantly engage, constantly ask for accountability. And when you can, to stand for yourself, as yourself in whatever community you represent. That's the idea of the system. And frankly, I've been following US elections since I was a kid. I was always fascinated by it. I always looked at it, and I don't know. I was just always drawn to it. So I've been following this. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this level of intensity, participation, and celebration for an election, and it's completely understandable. Half of the nation's been taken hostage for 4 years. And of course, there are some deeply disturbing trends, such as the fact that the actual percentage of white women who decided to vote Republican went up slightly. And it did, and we also do see small fluctuations in numbers across the ethnic groups, but that just means there's more work that needs to be done. So, there is going to be a hard core of resistance in transmuting that energy. And, yeah, but it gives you a little bit it gives people hope, though. And in times like this, rather than nitpicking and finger pointing and so on and so forth, you got to look at what gives you hope, and you got to put your best foot forward. You got to put your best foot forward. My cat agrees. Because if we were to start looking at this and talking about how everything's just going to go wrong, That's exactly the energy that we're going to put into. I'm not saying look at everything through rose-tinted glasses, of course not. But just as it looks like things are going. There's a chance things may turn out very different. But this is a big thank you to all of those people on the ground. My cat's very excited about this. All of those people on the ground who made a difference. And that's what's really exciting about all of this. Like I said, it's not about the figures, it's about the people. I have a feeling someone wants to make an appearance. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Let me see if she wants to make an appearance. Hang on. Yes, baby? What are you doing? Come here. Oh, my goodness. Of course you want to make an appearance. Yes, you do. Hang on. Wait. Okay. Yes. Here we go. Here we go. Yes. Kitty wanted to be part of the conversation. But anyway. All right, have you looked at your adoring fans yet? She says, Mommy, get to the material, Mommy. You're getting all nerdy and geeky out. Yes? Yes. So, she knows me. What can I say? So, now let's look at some comments. And let's look at what's going on. Okay. First of all, hello everyone. I will say my hellos and try to deal with questions as they come. Hello 3 or 5 Capricorn. Hello Suzanne. Hello Tree Essence. Hello Christina. Hello Blair. Hello Serge Moreno from Paraguay. Hello Candy. Hola. Hello Brandon. Hello Super Hams. Hello Gertie. Hello One Being One. Hello again Blair. Hello Marissa. Marissa and I have had fun conversations on Facebook. I remember. Oh my God, I remember. But anyway, it's one of those things you had to be there. Hello EB Love. Hello Shirley. Hello Mrs. Erika. Hello Allison Sampson. Yes, Blair, I agree. BIPOC peeps, absolutely. And one thing I actually do want to mention, I was looking at an article about how the indigenous vote actually really, really helped turn around some of the electoral races, especially in Arizona. So, the Navajo Nation, which was suffering from COVID, still turned up, voted 97% for Biden. And you got to admire that commitment. The fact that their community did not get the help that they needed for COVID-19, which I'm not trying to put a silver lining on it at all, but it really mobilized people in ways that actually helped them capture key areas. So they were kind of like blue islands in the state, so to speak. And shout out also has to be given to them. And I remember seeing this video that's been going around of this indigenous man who's in Albuquerque. The car's right behind him, but he's out of his car and he's just dancing. He's doing his traditional dance, and then he kind of elegantly swoops back in. But it's something that absolutely took everybody to come together. So much of constant work and international pressure, but more importantly, the people who are actually there. So shout out, shout out, shout out. Let's continue. Let's see. Who else we got here? Fatima says hello, hi. Jersey says peace. Salted Caramel says kia ora to you too. Sunman Patu says, I can't say the world will be perfect after this election, but it can still be better off without that dude as president. Agreed. Oh, okay. Ohene Nana says hi. Roses and B says hello, happy to see you. Nice to see you too. Joyous Day says greetings, Dr. B. So happy to see you. Thank you. Aquarian Age says hi, sister. You must be in joyful indeed. Tamil Nadu is in celebration. I am sure they would be. I'm sure they would be. Okay, let's see. Allison says white folks say that they're surprised that so many people voted for 45. Willful naivete. Agreed. But sometimes it's these kinds of large-scale events that actually make people wake up and force them either out of states of cognitive dissonance or into even deeper states, depending on where and how they want to evolve and so on and so forth. But hopefully there will be a greater understanding of why the work that has been done by so many for so long is so important. Luna says hello, so good to see you. Good to see you too. Ginger Snap says hello, everyone. Jasmine says she's a Dalit. I'm not entirely sure about that. The source that I read said that her one side of the family was certainly Tamil Brahmin. I'm not too hung up about that, but if you are, feel free to provide your sources of reference. Salman Patu says being Tamil is a beautiful thing because it links one to a very ancient bloodline. This is also true. Let us also not forget, though, that bloodlines aside, we have to look at the way that individual carries on and addresses the issues of inequality and injustice in ways that are actually fair. We romanticize India a lot, but let us not forget that there's a hell of a lot of inequality there. So that's why I'm not really jumping up and down on the Tamil side. I'm saying, okay, let's see how this plays out. Cool, but I'm more interested in policy. But fingers crossed. So Clarikira says, yeah, I caught a live. Blessing Sky Priestess, thank you. Cosmic Honey sends heart. Planet heart. Jersey says, I hope, but I don't think she'll do right by us. Hope. Okay, so let's see. Cosmic Honey says, she's only a picture and woman's mind that anything's possible. I don't know what that means. Jerry Cap says, hello neighbor, a better world is emerging soon. Hope you're well. Acceptance is the answer to all issues. Suffering arises when one resists how things are at present. How would you consider the civil rights movement then? Just curious. Search says, oh, the kitty, lots of cute kitty. Here we go. Kitty comments. Teraf says, hi. Sunman Patu says, leaving, but I'll watch the rest later. Keep up the good work, beloved. Thank you. I'll do my best. Let's see. I think people have gone nuts because of the kitty. Saraswati says, namaste. Hello. Search says, I both horrible people just don't know which one is the lesser of two evils. The one that's probably not going to keep brown babies in cages, lesser of two evils. First of all, I want to see them overturn that. That's what I want to see them change, first of all. And if they don't do anything about it, bloody hell, people are going to agitate. Let's see. Right, Raymond L says, glad I just caught you, but missing your live. Sorry about the background noise. There's, I guess, my neighbor next door doing something. Hopefully they're not having an argument. My cat is commenting on this. Raymond L says, what about vaccines and the stars? She doesn't like the fact the neighbor's interrupting the hello neighbor. So she's very conscientious. Raymond L says, what about vaccines and the stars? Well, to be honest, love, there's a huge scope for medicine and medical interventions to make a difference in people's lives. But at the same time, those same technologies can be used to harm. So it's kind of open-ended in that sense. It all really depends on, how people use the technology that is at hand. The stars don't tell you how things are going to unfold. They give you possibilities and strong likelihoods. Sometimes they surprise you, but that's because true free will, can actually overcome just about anything. In my own work, I've helped like a whole bunch of people overcome alignments that, people thought was not possible, or to direct them to people who could help them with that. Tamika says, hello, Tamika. Give me a sec. I'm going to try and close this door because I'm getting annoyed by this. Hang on. Hold up. I see. All right. Give me a sec. Hopefully that's a bit better. Okay, so let's see. Tamika Booker says, hi, hello. Brandon Lewis says, I am a Pluto and Scorpio. Oof, and I'm a Scorpio. Any advice for this month according to those two planets? I'll talk about that in a bit. Jesse says, hi, Dr. Bhairavi, sending love right back at you. Ginger Snap says, am I the only one who feels a calm before a storm? Major shifts happening. I'm hopeful. I think this is a moment for a lot of people, it's a moment of joy, and for other people, it's a moment of sadness. I can't generalize on that. It really depends on which side of the political spectrum you're sitting. Super Ham Ham says, "Hi, Doctor, it's Whitney. I figured." Thelma says, "Greetings, Sky Priestess, sending love and light." Jesse says, "Exactly. Action on the ground makes all the difference. Without that, the only people putting pressure on the Biden admin will be wealthy donors, and most of these awful policies will continue." Exactly. Love Child says, "Got through Mercury retrograde, but now everything is wrong. I'm also a Scorpio." So let's shift the conversation, because I wanted to acknowledge that this is happening. This is the thing. The reason why this is so important is because of visibility. When as this has happened, as this has happened, we actually see how the influence of the people can change politics now, or have the opportunity to change politics, I should say. There have also been certain structural legislative reforms that have been going through, which is excellent. Frankly, I think, states need to move away from majoritarian democracy and move into a representational system all over the world. But, people need the political will to do that. But effectively, I would actually say, this is a lesson, an example for how, yes, baby, I know you agree. This is an example and lesson for how these energies can actually be reproduced elsewhere. It's hope, because that flame that you ignite by showing people what they can do when they get together needs to go all over the world. It needs to go all over the world. And that's why this is so important. This particular regime, this particular administration that's about to come in, it's going to be flawed. Any human administration is going to be flawed. I don't think there's ever been a period in history where everybody got everything right. But the most important thing, like I said, is the energy that went into it from the ground. So that's what needs to be kept alive. So having said that, let's look at the alignments that are coming up. Of course, we're going to be seeing the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction on November 12th in Universal Time. And that is going to be bringing up a lot of these deep questions. So these are going to be the energies where we're going to need to look at the truth. What's the foundation that we're sitting on? What is it that actually underpins our finances, our health, our political systems? What are the values and the beliefs and the efforts that actually make all of this even possible? I mean, generally speaking, we're going to be seeing a lot of Scorpio energy all the way till mid-December, because Scorpio season is not just about the sun. That is a misunderstanding. We've had Mercury retrograde. We're having the sun in Scorpio. Venus is going to get in there as well. And that's still Scorpio energy. So we're actually going to be seeing, a lot of this deep processing all the way till the Saturn-Jupiter shift into Aquarius. So all of this deep work, it's not going to end when the sun, enters Sagittarius. No, it's going to continue. It's going to continue, and that's the work that needs to happen. Look at the most important people, principles, ideas, energies, systems, emotional commitments, and psychic energies that help you understand your place in reality. And what you don't like, either get it out of your life or do your best to transform it, because that's the work we're working on right now. Baby is currently transforming a piece of thing on the floor into a toy. That's what she does. But what I would say is that, for people with very strong Scorpio alignments, and of course, yes, I have some as well, I would say this is just a time where you got to keep doing what you've been doing. Keep doing what you've been doing. Look at the truth. Look for deeper layers of truth, even in places you didn't think you were going to find it, and sit with it. Yes, shifts are happening. And a lot of these shifts and the timing of these shifts are out of our control. So the best thing we can actually do is to look at what we can manage and manage it. It's, a lot of spirituality is not about expansion. This is where I get very annoyed. This is where I get very, very annoyed as to when people, this prima donna keeps wanting to talk. She was quiet the whole time. And then I started when I'm doing sessions, she is quiet. Unless there's something up with the client's energy, and she's like, mommy, you got to tell them XYZ. She's super quiet. But during Hello Neighbors, when she wants, to also share her wisdom, she talks. But it's what happens when you have an ascended being as a child, you know? But yes, I'm just waiting for her to come back so that I can hold her up again. I'm sure she would like to yes, she's coming, she's coming. Now she's pretending she doesn't want. So Thelma asks, with the retrograde in Mars and the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, how will this affect the collective regarding homework and finances? Honey, book a session. It really depends on your chart. I cannot generalize. Lachlan Harness says, yes, she has a lot to say. Tony Montclair says Kitty is channeling all the time. This girl's intuition is extraordinary. Extraordinary. Like, yeah. But yes, just keep doing what you're doing, honeys. It's going to be a heavy lifting period. I do want to caution all of you that with Jupiter and Pluto coming up in conjunction, there's going to be a lot of collective energies moving about, and there's a lot of people who like that. Some of these people will be very driven to destructive activities and actions and protests and whatnot, and they may even get armed. So if you're going to be doing any, external political work and whatnot, you got to make sure you have someone who has your back. So that's November 12th, Universal Time. November 15th, we actually have an extraordinarily powerful new moon in Scorpio. And I actually issued a 6,000 word report for my tier 23 people. And I honestly recommend you get on that because I can't do everything and I need to make sure that I can pay my rent. So for those of you who want to support my work and who want that level of detail and analysis, get with the program. But I'm still obviously going to tell you the most important stuff. That doesn't change. So the new moon in Scorpio coming up on the 15th in Universal Time is actually has a triple yod or triple finger of fate alignment. And it's something that's actually going to bring a lot of highly volatile and highly chaotic energy. So like I said, there's a time to celebrate. Celebrate now because the work is coming. And that's really when you have to be very careful as to what intentions are you setting out into the world? What energies are you, experiencing, expressing, and feeling? How are you looking at the way you actually hold on to power? Whether it's your power, whether it's your power that you've given to someone else, or whether it's someone else's power. All of these questions are going to be cycling about in a very chaotic way in the collective. Health issues can come up, financial issues can come up, and no, it cannot be predicted. It cannot be predicted because when a yod is involved and three intersecting yods are involved, it is absolutely a wild card. You know, it's the kind of energy which basically asks us to say, take a step back. Spirit is working. So, the work's been done. The initial part, people are celebrating, great. Take that moment, but get back into it. Get back into it because it's going to need to happen. But just remember that there are going to be people on frequencies who have all of this universal energy helping them, wanting them to shift, but they've decided to kind of go the opposite direction. Do not waste your energy. Do not waste your time. If you can, treat them with basic human respect. Whether or not they offer the same to you is not your concern. And keep moving along and doing what you need to do. The time for you wasting your energy on people who are committed to harming others is gone. So use that energy and create change in the spaces where you can make that happen. Marissa wants to know, is it a bad time to move? Very context specific, sweetie, but if you are going to move, I'd recommend it before the 15th because, again, lots of volatile issues, and if you're going to a new place, make sure the plumbing is okay, make sure your contract is tight. Let's see. Super Hams ask, do you think Trump and his followers are going to fight even more to stay in the White House and stay president? I would say yes. They probably are, and they're probably not going to succeed, but that doesn't mean that they won't try to cause damage in the meantime. Let's see. Jesse and Blair love tier 23. Thank you. And Sheena as well. Thank you so much. Latoya says, hey, Dr. B. Hey, Latoya. Thelma says, what do you think about the argument regarding protecting your wealth by changing into cryptocurrency? I think, first of all, it's more important for us to make sure that people who do not have wealth have wealth. Because really, the argument about cryptocurrency is a privileged one, and I'm not interested in that. There are too many people out there who can't even survive, don't have food, don't have housing. And I really think the world needs to be more focused on that. Let's see. Love Child says, thank you, love Dr. B. Yeah. Allison says, here. And I like this place because once in a while, um, we get these vans passing by, and this van passing by now, and they basically recycle old things, or you sell them to scrap yards where they can take things apart. And that's what's going by right now. It's a sign. Please take out the trash. Take out the trash. Sheena's got a good line. Protect your wealth by investing in the health and sustainability of your local community. Yes, and extend a hand sustainably to disempowered communities, I would add. Search says, what do you see in the stars about the pandemic? Search, I've done a piece on this called The Astrology of Coronavirus. You can look that up online. Angela says, any advice on how to prepare for December 21st to 25th? That's a tough one. I don't think you can. That's the whole thing about Aquarian ships. You can't really prepare, you can't prepare for them. You can just make sure that you have the right coping mechanisms. Exactly. And, kind of just be prepared for what comes. So, as long as you've been working on your grounding, you've been working on just being in the here and now, dissolving your ego as best you can, and just staying open to new information, but also looking, hey, is this legit? Is this not legit? As long as you stay open to those things, but have your psychic discernment on, you should be okay, right? Now, Diane wants to know, what does Pluto and Virgo mean? Diane, it means a lot of things for a lot of different people, but long story short, Pluto is all about transformation and change, and in a deep way. Virgo means it tends to be focused on your health, sexuality, the way you manage your daily resources, and so on and so forth. But effectively, it can mean too many things for me to just generalize. And if you just want a general interpretation, then you can easily look that up online. My specialty comes in the fact that when I read charts, I use 150 bodies to read them. So I'm not just going to give you stuff that you can just find online. So if you're interested in finding out what that means for you, book a session. If you want to book a session, if you want to join the Tier 23 program, which is a ridiculous level of detail, I would still call it intermediate astrology. There's even more that can happen with that. But honestly, it's probably too much for most people. Do find my website at www.theskypriestess.as.me. And that's how you can book a session and join Tier 23. Now, I am not allowing sessions for the next few weeks because I need to cool down and replenish from the bullseye sessions. They're very, very sacred things. They are things that I can only do once, maybe twice a year, maybe at most. This is the kind of energy where I just need to replenish a little bit. So you can book, but there will be a wait. And trust me, you'd probably want to wait at this time. You don't want to do anything too heavy or too hard right now. Wait till the third week of November before you kind of want to resurface. Right now, it's all about that deep process and that deep energy. And Super Ham says, I hope you all tip her. That will be greatly appreciated. If you do want to do that, PayPal me. PayPal.me/theskypriestess would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And you got a rare glimpse of Kitty Cat, who has been contributing her deep and meaningful contributions the whole time. She likes her she likes her time in the sun when she chooses. Oh, she's coming back. Let's see if we can get a second glimpse. Yes, I think we can manage it. Oh God, no, she's biting. No, we're fine. Bullseye sessions have just passed. There's something I do once a year, which are very, very hyper condensed sessions, but next year. Luna asked, I wanted to ask if everyone could pray for my dad. Ooh, what is going on, Luna? I'm sorry to hear that. What's happening? If you want to share. If you don't want to share, that's fine. I'll just send a general prayer in his direction. Yeah, so will Kitty Cat. Oh dear, he unfortunately has COVID and is in the ICU. Ooh, okay. Right. I will say a prayer definitely. Okay. Talma Chapman says, I hear that YouTube channels in other countries may be slowed down, such as in Turkey. They say it is political. Do you think this will affect YouTube channel holders in the US? I am not YouTube. I would not know. I would say there is a possibility of it, but I find it very unlikely because YouTube wants to make money. Yeah, I would say that. And remember, Turkey is currently under fascist control. And hopefully, the Americans are getting out of the extreme levels of fascist control. So let's see if, let's hope that doesn't manifest in a negative way further. But I would say we're coming up to a wrap. And Kitty Cat also has a comments, as you can hear. So I wish all of you all of the best. Stay discerning. Keep looking at things. Don't jump to conclusions. Remember that how do I put it? I want to put this. I want to put this. Hang on. I want to say this right. Just remember that at the end of the day, if your truth involves harming someone or allowing someone else to come to harm, maybe really look at whether you're coming from a place of truth or not. Is that the truth of the ego or is that the truth of the spirit? So thank you all for participating and thank you all for sending prayers to Luna's dad. And yeah, take care and all the best. Cha cha for now and enjoy while you can. Bye bye.